The invisible connection. From the book, There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem. One of the most profound lessons I've learned in my spiritual journey is the power of invisible connections that bind us all. Let me share a story about an experience that underscored this truth for me. Several years ago, I was invited to speak at a conference in a small town. After my talk, a woman named Maria approached me. She shared a heartfelt story of how she felt isolated and disconnected after moving to a new city. Despite her efforts to connect with others, she struggled to find a sense of belonging. I told Maria about a similar experience I had. During a particularly lonely period in my life, I found solace in nature. I would take long walks in the park, and over time, I noticed something remarkable. The trees, the birds, and even the gentle breeze seemed to communicate a message of unity and interconnectedness. I felt an invisible thread connecting me to all living things, and this realization brought me immense peace. I encouraged Maria to spend time in nature and to open herself to the possibility of these invisible connections. She took my advice and soon discovered a deep sense of belonging and connection. She found joy in the simple act of observing a sunrise, listening to the rustling leaves, and feeling the warmth of the sun on her skin. Months later, Maria wrote to me expressing her gratitude. She had made new friends, found a community that shared her interests, and felt more connected than ever. She realized that the sense of isolation was a construct of her mind, and that by opening herself to the invisible connections around her, she had found true belonging. This story illustrates the profound truth that we are all connected, even when we don't see it. By tuning into these invisible threads, we can find peace, purpose, and a deeper connection to the world and to each other. Embrace these connections, and you will discover that you are never truly alone. These stories, drawn from my own experiences and the wisdom I have encountered, highlight the power of transformation through simple yet profound shifts in perspective. Whether it's understanding the ripple effect of our actions or recognizing the invisible connections that unite us, each story offers a lesson in living a more fulfilling and enlightened life. The story of the old man and the horse. Taken from the book, Manifest Your Destiny, the 9 spiritual principles for getting everything you want. Let me share with you an ancient story that has always inspired me to see beyond immediate appearances and embrace the flow of life with equanimity. Once, in a small village, there lived a wise old man. He was known for his wisdom and calm demeanor. One day, his horse ran away. The villagers came to offer their sympathy, saying, "What bad luck." The old man replied, "Maybe, who knows?" A few days later, the horse returned, bringing with it a herd of wild horses. The villagers exclaimed, "What good luck." The old man again said, "Maybe, who knows?" Soon after, the old man's son tried to tame one of the wild horses and fell, breaking his leg. The villagers came once more, offering their condolences for the misfortune. The old man responded, "Maybe, who knows?" Later, the army came to the village, conscripting all the young men to fight in a war. They spared the old man's son because of his broken leg. The villagers, amazed by the turn of events, said, "What good luck?" The old man simply said, "Maybe, who knows?" This story teaches us the importance of not labeling events as purely good or bad. Life is a series of unfolding events, each carrying its own lessons and opportunities. When we judge situations too quickly, we miss the broader perspective that life might be offering. By adopting the old man's wisdom, we can cultivate a mindset of acceptance and trust in the natural flow of life. This perspective allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. The lesson from the broken pot. From the book, The Power of Intention, Learning to Co-Create Your World Your Way. I'd like to share with you a beautiful story about embracing our imperfections and finding the hidden gifts within them. In a village, there was an elderly woman who carried water from a stream to her house every day using two large pots hung on either end of a pole she balanced across her shoulders. One of the pots had a crack, while the other was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water. By the time the woman reached her house, the cracked pot had leaked half its water. For 2 years, the woman made the same journey. The perfect pot was proud of its accomplishment, but the cracked pot felt ashamed of its imperfection. One day, the cracked pot spoke to the woman by the stream. "I am so ashamed of myself because this crack causes water to leak out all the way back to your house." The old woman smiled and said, "Did you notice the flowers on your side of the path, but not on the other pot's side? That's because I have always known about your flaw, so I planted flower seeds on your side of the path, and every day while we walk back, you water them. For 2 years, I have been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate my table. Without you being just the way you are, there would not be this beauty to grace the house." This story illustrates that what we perceive as flaws or weaknesses can often be our greatest strengths. By embracing our imperfections and understanding the unique contributions we bring to the world, we can find beauty and purpose in our lives. It's a reminder to accept ourselves fully and to recognize the hidden potential within our so-called flaws. The tale of the two bricklayers. From The Shift Taking Your Life from Ambition to Meaning. I want to tell you a story about two bricklayers that perfectly encapsulates the shift from mere ambition to a life of meaning. One day, a man walked by a construction site where two bricklayers were hard at work. He asked the first bricklayer, "What are you doing?" The man replied, "I am laying bricks." The passerby then asked the second bricklayer the same question. The second man looked up with a gleam in his eye and said, "I am building a cathedral." Both men were doing the same physical task, but their perspectives were vastly different. The first bricklayer saw his work as a series of mundane tasks, while the second bricklayer saw his work as contributing to something greater than himself. The second man's sense of purpose and vision transformed his labor into a meaningful and fulfilling endeavor. This story highlights the power of perspective and the importance of finding meaning in what we do. When we shift our focus from merely completing tasks to understanding the greater purpose behind our actions, our work becomes more rewarding. This shift in mindset from ambition, focusing on external achievements, to meaning, focusing on internal fulfillment, is crucial for living a deeply satisfying life. By embracing a broader vision and seeing our contributions as part of a larger purpose, we can transform even the most mundane tasks into meaningful experiences. This change in perspective not only enhances our personal fulfillment, but also impacts those around us, inspiring them to find meaning in their own lives. These stories, drawn from my own experiences and the wisdom I have encountered, highlight the transformative power of changing our mindset. Whether it's understanding the deeper lessons in life's events, embracing our imperfections, or finding greater meaning in our daily tasks, each story offers a lesson in living a more fulfilling and enlightened life.